Oodalali and welcome. My name is DJ, aka Ferda Fangorn, and I am back today with my second video going over deck building for beginners and casual players. This video will not necessarily be so many tips and rules like I did in my previous video, but for this one, I'm actually going to go ahead and walk through the process that I used when I was putting together decks back when I had a more limited card pool when I was first starting to play, and even still today, as I don't have the resources to just grab the playsets of all the best cards, so I do find myself having to make do here and there. But this whole video is just going to be me showing you how I would put together a deck with, maybe a smaller card pool, not someone who's been able to go out and buy the playsets of all the meta, super competitive, or expensive cards. For the purposes of this video, I also went ahead and I made a additional account on Dreamborn, and there I went ahead and threw together a makeshift card pool. What the card pool is, I basically used one of every single starter deck that's come out through set six, so through Azerite C. I included the booster that would come with those packs, two additional boosters from each set as well. And then also the gateway, because in my thinking, the way I'm approaching this as someone who maybe is just casually collecting and just wants to start to get into building, I think using the starter decks and just a handful of boosters, which I just randomly went through and picked cards on the different rarities and how they come in the packs, so that to kind of make a realistic card pool of what someone who may have just been casually buying the game or hasn't gone out and got a whole bunch of stuff. A lot of the cheaper, more affordable cards are also found in starters, so I think it'd be a pretty decent representation of what a average collector, more casual collector's card pool might look like who is now looking into getting into the game and wanting to play more, which is why I also included the cards that came in the gateway because it's just a phenomenal resource to learn how to play the game. It comes with two decks and everything you need. The decks start off real simple. It's lesser, and then you kind of add to them as you progress through the learning on how to play. I definitely recommend it. It's very affordable right now on Amazon. I want to say it's going for about $12 to $13 at the time of this recording. It has a handful of really good staple cards that you would want that actually make up about half of that cost right there. So it's definitely a resource I would look into getting. And without further ado, we're going to go ahead and screen share, and I'm just going to walk through and talk through the process of putting together a deck. Okay, so here we are at the homepage, as you will, of Dreamborn.inc. I have already added all the cards to the collection. I'm not going to go through that process in this video. This video is strictly just showing you my thought process and how I go about creating a deck with a more limited card pool. And so we're going to go ahead and hit create a deck, start from there. Then you want to go to filters. This is how I do it. We're going to check only show cards in my collection. Then from there, what I always did is I would go to rarity and I would just select legendary and super rare cards. It'll show me all the legendaries and super rares in my collection. Those tend to be the strongest cards and the cards you ideally probably want to build a deck around. From there, you kind of want to keep an eye on any of the ones that you have more than one of, especially if you're newer to collecting. If you have anything of two or three of, you want to take a second to look at them, see if they're good or cards you'd want to build around. Some cards are just standalone great all the time, so it's almost an auto add. So if you have one of the stuff, and maybe you don't build a deck around it, but they're just really good at just about every single deck with that color. For example, the Rapunzel Gifted with Healing, the first chapter is always going to be good in Amber decks. If you only have one of her, always put her in. Robin Hood Legendary in Steel is one that's almost always good in Steel, especially if you're newer and starting out. It's one of those cards like that, etc. The big purple Elsa from the first chapter, legendary. Maui Shark, legendary from Azurite Sea. If you happen to pull any of those are almost always a good add. But anyway, let's go back. So we filtered our collection from there. You're just going to exit out of this, and here you can see these are what we have available. Most of the things are one-ofs. We got a couple piglets, which are generally always good in amber. We've got a couple Ariels, so those are two we're going to keep an eye on. Two of the super rare Anna. She's very good in any kind of hero build. And every two Aurora. We've got that. Yeah, so those, I think. Let's go ahead and just scroll through, see what we have. All right, so those are all the ones that we have duplicates of. So I think for the purpose of this video, we're going to go ahead. We're going to focus on Ariel. I think we're going to start there. Since Piglet's in the same color, we're going to go ahead and just add him in. Daisy's always a good card. We're going to add that in. We're just going to add all of the amber. Um, as far as choosing a second color, let's take a look here. We don't have any amethyst, which is pretty crazy. Looks like blue might be our next best color. We've got the Tamatoa, got the Lucky Dime, got the Ariel. So maybe we lean to some kind of weird songs, items, hero build. I don't really know. Um, we could do that, but if we're going to build around the Ariel, perhaps before we do that, the best bet would be if you look at the card, you see she has Singer 5. She gives you that ability, musical debut, that lets you look at the top 4 cards of your deck, reveal a song, put it in your hand. Clearly, she wants to play with songs. So we're going to go ahead and just take a quick look at, we're going to get rid of the rarity, then we're going to just look at songs. Now, there's going to be a lot more, so we scroll through the songs. Let's see. And if we have anything super strong, we've got a couple amber songs here, low cost. Just try to make note of any significant songs. Sudden Chill's a great song, but we only have one of it, so it's not really worth. We got one jump, another good Sapphire. It looks like Sapphire might be our best bet. We got a couple decent Amber songs. We got Friends. It's just one of the best, if not the best songs in the game, in my opinion. Being able to draw 2 cards for free. Got some solid steel songs here. Storm, One Last Hope. How Far Out Goes Another Staple. Zeus is a perfect. A Whole New World's a great one. Let It Go. Looks like, yeah, let's lean into this. Do the Sapphire. So, look at this family. It's a song card, but Ariel can't sing it. We'll go ahead, just for now, we'll go ahead and add them in. This card draw is going to be the thing we're going to have the hardest time. Removal's tough in these colors, so that's a good choice. This is a song. We're going to go ahead and just add most of what we have here, and then we'll go back and trim. So we're just looking at the amber and sapphire for now. Part of your world's probably a good one. World's greatest criminal mind. We want that removal. Uh, this one does replace itself. We'll put it in for now. One jumps a staple. We're gonna skip seldom. We're gonna keep scrolling here. Be our guest. Lets you put a character into your hands. It's kind of card draw in a way. We're gonna put it for now. Zero to Hero is not a bad song. Painting the Roses Red also replaces itself. So we're just gonna just add anything in here as a song and draws. So here we go. There's that. So now that we've decided that we want Sapphire because it has some of the better songs, we're gonna clean this all up towards the end. So don't worry about that. So we're gonna go back. We're gonna refilter again. Take out the songs. We'll go back to our legendaries and super rares. We're gonna go ahead and also click Sapphire since that's all we really want. Alice is a great card. But we're just gonna throw it all in, see where we go. We lean, see, we have some good item ones. We got Ariel, Tamatoa, Dime, even Tadashi's a solid card for item deck. So it's kind of tough. It kind of puts us into an awkward position. But we're just starting out, so sometimes you have to meld 2 different builds. We're gonna go ahead, we're gonna meld the items with the songs as we put together this deck. And then we have to remember we have the Anna, so when we go to fill in the characters, we'll take a look at her. So now that we decided we kind of want to lean into items as well, we're going to go back into the filters. We're going to Sapphire, select Amber as well. Go back to our filters. We're going to clean up the filters. Make sure that collection is always chosen. Go back to types, and this time we're going to look just at the items. So we're going to see if there's any items that stick out to us if they're really worth keeping. Ice Block's a solid item typically. Popsicle Draws, so that's a great item. Scepter's actually not too bad. It gives support, which is a great ability. It makes your less strong characters pretty strong. Let's see. Lantern's a solid item. So it looks like we actually have some good items to build off of here. Do we want a Rulian? Whenever you quest, top card of your deck goes to the top or bottom. You get to decide. So you can kind of filter your deck a little, toss it in there just because. Now, Greystone Dragon's a solid ramp tool, which is something Sapphire likes to do. Sardine Can is a slept on item. I'm going to throw that in there too. Okay, so before we get anywhere else, we're going to go back here, take a quick look. We're going to keep our characters as is because these are our best characters. Characters are usually the most important part of your deck. So we're going to go here and check out the items. 11 items is kind of a lot of items, so we will go ahead and drop the gyro sensor. We'll go ahead and we'll leave the sardine can for now. We'll also get rid of the scepter. So I think 8 items with the Tomatoma in deck and that aerial in deck feels pretty good. These are all good items. So we'll go ahead and keep those in. And as for the songs, then we're gonna see none of the ones. We'll get rid of 4 dozen eggs. We don't really care about the resist that it provides. It's just I like the song. Look at this family's a 7, so we're gonna put that at 1. It is a nice card because as you can see, you can look at 5 cards and put 2 characters into your deck. But if we're gonna be heavy on item songs, there might be a little bit less characters. So we'll go ahead, drop that, let it go. We're gonna keep the removal. How far I'll go lets you draw a card and also ramp a little bit. So you get to look at the top 2 cards of your deck, one in your hand, one in your inkwell. We like that. We're going to keep that. Lost in the Woods gives all opposing characters -2 strength until the start of your next turn. That's a nifty little card. We'll leave it in for now. I do like part of your world because you can bring a character back to your hand. That's always pretty nice. One jump is going to be nice because it lets you put an extra card into your inkwell. 0 to hero can probably go because it is uninkable. It is nice to have the cost reduction, but with lanterns and we have the Gaston already, we already have some cost reduction. We're already sitting at 14 unequals, as you can see up here, and we probably want to get that number down some more. So that's definitely going to go. Okay, and then let's see, be our guest. Looks at the top of the cards, put a character in your hand, the rest in the bottom. Not the worst. Painting the Roses, that one could probably go. So we're still a little high on Don characters for my liking, so we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna get rid of the heal what has been hurt as well. And then I think we're gonna drop Be Our Guest as well. This still puts us at about a third of our deck as songs and items, but we kind of want that. And they're all pretty good. We got some removal, we got some self-defense, Lost in the Woods. We can probably drop that just to beef up the character count. Okay. So from this point, I just continue down the line with rarity. So we're going to go to filters, types, we're going to unselect this. I think we're pretty okay on non-characters. So we're really, right now, we're just going to go ahead and hit the characters because we've already found our items and songs. That's what we're going to try to build around. So now we're just going to find some characters. We've already done the super rares and the legendaries. So what I like to then do is I literally just go down the rarity checklist as I do this. So we're going to go ahead and just check out the rare characters. They're organized by cost. So we're going to look for anything that either works well with songs or with items, as that is our main build. We do have the Ana, who is really good with other heroes, but we might end up having to ditch her to focus more on items and songs. So here we have the 2 copies of the Cinderella Singer one drop, fortunately. So that's really good with a song deck. We have, we have 3 songs here she can sing right off rip. So she could definitely pay off. She's just a strong card. You're just going to want her in the deck. Grand Duke's only good for Princess decks. Let's see, we got Hiram. He's not bad for aggro, but that's not what we're doing. So we can keep scrolling. Anything that, like I said, works with songs, works with items. Let's see, Gear Loose. You can exert to put an item from your discard to the top of your deck. That's okay. We're going to keep that one just in case. We're going to check it out. Ariel's a singer 7. We got rid of the look at this family, so I don't think we'll need her. Hades is nice. You can play him and return a character, so he's another part of your world type card, another kind of pseudo draw. We're going to go ahead and add him. We do have 2 hero. It likes to banish items and lets you draw. So it's a good draw engine. So we should be drawing pretty okay for a casual deck. Hero. Let's see. This Ariel does well with items, but it just doesn't really work as well as you would want. Jasmine is for Robin. I do like Gaston to help kind of filter cards. I don't know. We'll put him in for now. See where this goes. We're gonna throw in the Sheriff of Nottingham. I think he's a really fun card. He's a yes, you can see he's a 9 cost. Okay, yeah, we'll let you add it. So let's go take a quick look at him. He's a 9 cost character that has the ability that for each item you have in play, you pay 1 less. So you combine that with Gaston you already have in your deck and those lanterns, you can get him out for pretty cheap. And as you can see, he's a big body with a 5/9 quest for 4 and support. So we're gonna go ahead and put him in this deck. So we're sitting at 43 cards. We're at 18 uninkables as is. So we definitely need to cut down some uninkables here. I think Hades might be the first on the chopping block. So he's going to go. The Gastons that we just added, I don't think are worth keeping in that situation. 15? 15 is usually my hard cap. Just trying to think. Maybe we could drop. I think we'll go ahead and get rid of this Tiana. She's a really good legendary, but she does better in more aggro type builds, more character heavy builds. She protects characters. I'm gonna drop that. I do like the Alice. We're gonna keep the Alice. I think 14 because we do have the couple of Hirams. We do have the How Fars, and the Great Stone helps us ramp. So to card draw, we should be okay. So now we're gonna go ahead and same thing. We're gonna go through the filter. This time we're just going to go ahead and look at, we're going to do commons and uncommons together. It just saves time. It's not usually a huge difference. So we're going to scroll back to the ones, see what we got. Anything here that might play off of items and or songs? I don't think so. I think 1 drops are pretty standard. We'll come back and probably dig through these a little bit when we need to fill out our curve at the end of our deck. So up next we'll see we're in 2 drops. Anything? Okay, this Ursula's got Singer 4, which means she can sing songs. She's kind of beefy. We have 1 copy, but you know what? It fits our deck. We're going to put it in. And that's what we're going to do. I do love Wendy Darling, so we might come back to her. We'll see what we are at. Sleepy isn't the worst card. Sebastian's also got Singer 4, but he gets banished pretty easily. I do like Simba. He can help protect things, so we're going to put him in for now. I do like having Bodyguard. The Annas will probably end up going. Aurora's got Ward, which is nice. Oh, we're gonna throw in these Corellas because we don't have anything evasive, but she gains evasive on your turn, so that can help you deal with evasive characters your opponent might be playing, which is always nice to have. This little grandma is actually kind of annoying too. We're gonna put it in for now. She when she's banished, you can move her to the inkwell and just kind of keep, you know, increasing your inks. This Donald Duck has bodyguard, which I do like. No, we're gonna put it in for now. Julieta lets you draw, so we want as much draw as possible. That's for sure. I do like Doc. He does what Lantern does, but on a body on a quest. So I think the theme of this deck will be items and songs, and then just reducing cost to play things. Gaston is Singer 5, which is really nice, just like the Ariel. He doesn't have the ability to go searching for songs, but it's still really good to have. He can sing Let It Go, How Far I'll Go. And as a 3/3, he can kind of stick around. Prince John works well with items, but I don't think it's going to fit. Potch is not the worst, but we don't need that. Let's see. Mickey Mouse fits into the ramp, but we're already high on uninkables. So actually, because we are high on uninkables already, we want to try to avoid them. Uh, we'll wait. We'll wait to do that next part. Sorry, so this is all part of the process. My mind goes a million miles per second. See, like Tinkerbell's, I love Tinkerbell, but We do want to avoid the uninkable if possible. Cinderella has Singer 5, but at turn 4 it doesn't feel as good. Prince Philip's not a terrible removal option if you're running an Amber deck, but we have, I think, enough to get by. Wasabi's interesting. Keep going. This Grammatala is pretty nice too. So when you play her, you get to look at the top two cards of your deck, and then you can put one into your hand and the other one on the bottom. So it kind of helps you filter. We're going to add this Flintheart. He also gains evasive, like that Cruella. Just gives you more chances for an evasive answer. It's got a bigger body. Quest for 2. We'll throw in Grandma for now. We're going to see. We'll see where we're at with things. And I'll show you how to fine tune, or at least how I fine tune a deck at this point. Puzzles can help you draw, but I don't. We're not doing any healing in this deck or damage removal from our characters in this deck. I love Marion. She's one of my favorite characters, but she's just not gonna fit Mufasa. The big body. I think that'll probably do it. Yeah. So we are only at 62. We are at 62 cards here. As you can see up here, we are at 62 cards. So that means we got to cut at least 2. And like I mentioned before, this Ana, while great for hero builds, we are not focused on heroes. So I think that makes that the easiest. So we cut that. So here we have our initial jumping off point. We have 60 cards. Okay, that's a good start. We feel good about it. What am I missing here? Nothing. Interesting. Wonder why it's showing what I'm missing. Sometimes Dreamborn will glitch and show you you're missing stuff because it doesn't like take the fact that you might have a cold foil into consideration. So we do have everything. We already organized with that, so let's not worry about that. So the next one, I want to go to this view, right, and group it by cost. So we can see our curve. Now, 6 1 cost items or characters is not ideal. I would really prefer to have that number at 10 at least, if not 12 when you're first starting out. For this video's purpose, we're going to go ahead and bump that up to 10. Popsicle is a fine turn 1 play because it replaces itself. And by that I mean when you play it, you put a card in your hand. So that does feel pretty good. But we're going to need a couple, at least one play set of another character. Um, Usually when it comes to 1 cost characters, we're going to have to see if they have any kind of little abilities or not. So we're going to come here. We're going to go ahead and clear the rarity. We're just going to go straight to rarity characters already. And because we're already good on uninkables, we're just going to go ahead and just not even look at them. If you click this, it'll show you just cards that are inkable, which is nice. And then, so we're going to go to cost, and then you can organize cards just by what they cost. So we want 1 ink costing cards right now. And see if there's anything we really want. Anybody with any good abilities or anything? See, Rabbit on play, you can heal 1 damage off of somebody. That's not bad. It's not the best stat wise, though. I would prefer something a little more interesting. Kit's got Ward. Jasmine does the same thing as Rabbit. Flounder. Can't go wrong with a Flounder. I won my first game ever of Lorcana playing in real life with a Flounder questing. So he's got a special place in my heart. I think for the purpose of this deck, we'll go ahead. We'll just put it in place at a Flounder. Can't go wrong with Flounder. So boom. See, now we're back at 64, which is fine because we're going to go through this and kind of work on our curve a little bit. So here we have 15 2-cost cards. I would rather that number be closer to 12, I think, somewhere around there. So we're going to see if there's a couple in here we can go ahead and drop down a little bit. I think we have. I don't think ramping is going to be too important because our highest cost stuff is, yeah, it's expensive, but it can be discounted. So I think we can go ahead and we're going to drop these 3 Grammatala. I'd rather keep the 1 jumps, I think. No, we're going to drop the 2. No, we're going to drop the Grammatalas because the 1 jumps play into our song theme, and it's a better version of going ahead and increasing that inkwell number. And I'd rather keep the piglets. Piglets are a great late game card because if you get a couple characters on board, he can all of a sudden quest for 3. He's a good target for that lucky dime we're playing in the deck. We want the Ursula for singing. The Simp protects our singers with his bodyguard ability, because if they want to challenge him, they have to challenge him first, so that's always good. And like I said, I think I'm going to opt for the one jump, even though it is uninkable. So boom. Now we're sitting at 12. We're still one card over, but that's okay. So now we're going to the three costs. This is usually the hardest part for me because I always end up with a bunch of three cost items. I would rather that number come down closer to 15, just to clean things up a little bit. So we're going to see what we can move away from here. I think we're going. I think we'll drop the gyro gear loose. Like, while it's nice to be able to put the item back in our on top of our deck, I just think it's not worth carrying her. Ariel, we want the dock. I do like Donald because he gives a little bit of aggro and bodyguard, so we're gonna keep him. We'll reduce the Gaston to 2, I think, because we don't really have that many songs over the limit. Uh, yeah, Gaston helps you play characters for 2 less ink, which is nice. Juliet is another help with draw. Part of your world. We'll put part of your world down to 1, just because it's an uninkable, so that helps bring us down. So that gets us to 15, which feels good. Four cost cards. I would like to bump up by at least 2, I think, and we have 58 cards in deck, so we're doing pretty good right now. Let me see if there's anything we don't. I think Aurora, Dreaming Guardian, the 5 cost can probably. It's nice. It gives our characters a ward. Honestly, though, I think I might keep her. I think we'll just throw in. I think with the way this curve is looking right now, let's just take a look at it and go to info. That actually feels pretty good. We need 2 more cards, so I think we're going to add 2 more forecasts because turn 4 is a pretty important turn. So we'll see if there's anything we can find that does a good job. So we're going to go here. We're going to leave all of our filters. We're going to leave the inkable. We're going to leave the characters. I would rather throw in some more body. Although, no. We're going to look at characters, items, and songs. Just because that's what our deck's around. I think we're doing pretty good. We'll see if anything really stands out here. None of these are standing out to me. I know these cards pretty easily. I mean, when you're doing this, you're probably going to take a little more time looking at each individual card. If this was more song heavy, I would definitely lean towards the Alan the Dale, because you get a lore when you play a song, which is nice. We're gonna put him in as our placeholder for now, because I don't want to forget. Cogsworth, that's not too bad. Daisy makes your opponent discard. It's not the worst thing in the world. Lost in the Woods is another song, though, and I do like it because it does help protect your characters again. So we're going to put 2 of that in for now. I think we're going to go back. We're going to discuss whether we want the extra songs in our deck or if we want the Alan the Dale. I think we're going to lean towards that Lost in the Woods for right now. I think it makes more sense to go ahead and up our song count. Give that Ariel and those Gastons a extra thing to sing. Give our characters a little extra protection. We don't run enough inventors for that hero. Don't run enough heroes for Anna, unfortunately. We already have Grandma. We don't run location, so we don't need Vault Door. Do love Fortize and Eggs. Just look at that artwork. It's just amazing. Oh, okay, we have the Sardine Can already. Running support, which is nice, but I have Fates is another decent item. Chosen character gets an extra warp pip that turn. That's a continuous, so we're going to add that in, actually. So what we're going to do, we're going to opt against that. And then yeah, Dermatol helps with card draw, so we're going to keep that. I think, actually, we're going to go ahead and drop Flintheart. So I'm not that worried. Evasives aren't that big of a deal, and he hits the same amount of damage as that Cruella from earlier. So we're going to go ahead and actually bring that down to 2 and bump that Lost in the Woods back up. So now we have our 60 cards. We're down to 13 unequals, which is decent, and we consider how much we have a decent amount of draw in this deck, so I feel good about that. Go back and sort this by original, by type, and just take a look. We're at 39 characters, which feels pretty good. We got 12 songs and 9 items, which is a decent number. I think on you typically would want more items, but we only have the two heroes. Yes, the Tamato and Ariel both function off the items, but that's okay. I think this is came together pretty nicely, actually. I did all this. I had no plans. I literally randomly added in booster pack cards, and it's all starter decks in the gateway, like I mentioned. So I think this actually came together pretty good. Let's go look at the info. The curve looks solid. We have card draw. We have some removal in the forms of World's Greatest Criminal Mind. We can get rid of big, tough characters with 5 strength or more. That's nice. We have Let It Go, which sends chosen character to player's inkwell face down and exerted, which is nice. Um, Other than that, we kind of just have to rely on challenging in some sort of way, which our deck's not the best at, but that's okay because we kind of just want to get underneath them a little bit and hopefully hit a couple ramp, get some big characters down for cheaper and faster with the Doc and the Gaston. This Gaston, not the single Gaston. So I like that. So then once you're done putting it together, you want to save it. But first we have to come up with a name. Now I personally like to take a character deck's built around and take one of their character type names. So like Spectacular Singer, I like maybe I'll use the word spectacular. So that's the amber portion. And then maybe we find let's see who else we running a bunch of. We can we can call it spectacular ancient stories. That's good enough for me. I'm gonna call it a day. So boom, gotta save our deck after we name it. Spectacular ancient stories. If you want to put a description, remember what the deck is for. That's fine. So we're gonna go ahead and just write Amber Sapphire songs and items. And then you can click these little things down here to like whatever type it is. We're gonna go ahead and just call it a budget casual because it is what it is. So we can hit save. Boom. Our deck is saved. If you want to go back and look at it, it's still saving. Go to the deck. And there it is. We have our first deck. If you hit share as well, this is my personal favorite way to view the deck. It'll pull up the whole deck for you, your accounts and everything, and show you all your cards. Now, typically, you want to try to get more forums and kind of fine tune this a little bit, but I do think that this is actually a pretty fun little deck, and I think it could work. But anyway, that is my process for how I put together decks, especially when I had a limited card pool and I first started playing. Um, that's pretty much it. Like I found some removal. We found the draw naturally. You want to sort, by your legendary and super rares and build around those. So then you kind of go out from there. And as you saw, this deck really kind of came together pretty nicely. I think this is a pretty cool little deck. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. Um, I think that's going to do it for this portion of the video. So I hope you learned something and it helps you in the long run. So there you have it. That is how I would go through, approach, and build a deck with a little more limited card pool. For the purposes of this video, obviously it's just random cards here and there. But I think hope you learned a lot. I hope you kind of got a little insight of what the process looks like as you put together a deck from scratch that you want to build on your own. I really look forward to our next couple of videos. I am going to showcase I have 3 budget-friendly, what I'm going to call kitchen table budget-friendly decks, meaning they cost $50 or less for the entirety of the deck. So I'm really excited about that. I'm hoping to get that out and done next week before the new set comes out. And then after that, we're gonna just kind of see where the channel goes. Maybe I'll find out, get some feedback, and see what you guys want to hear about, talk about. I'll probably hold off on singles to target budget wise for the new set until the new sets hit big box stores towards the end of March. And the prices kind of settle down a little bit because the first couple of weeks, especially before they hit the big stores like Target and stuff, the prices can be a little bit inflated. So if I see anything that I think is going to skyrocket or something, maybe I'll do a quick YouTube short on that. And yeah, thank you for tuning in again. I had a lot of fun doing this. Again, deck building is my favorite part of any trading card game, so I love to talk about it. So if you have any questions or concerns, any comments, any feedback at all of any kind, good or bad, neutral, whatever, I would love to hear it down here in the comments, and I will be more than happy to engage with you in conversation. You can also find me over on X under the same name, Ferda Fangorn. I'm very active on there. I'm posting and talking daily on there. It's just a really easy and cool platform. You'll learn a lot over there if you don't have an account over there or haven't branched into the Lorcana community over there. It is phenomenal. Cannot state how great it is. So with that, I look forward to our next video. Until then, be you, be love, and God bless.